I was single for 25 years of my life. Hey guys, it's your girl Anne. I hope you're having a great morning, night, afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. Today is going to be a little different from my norm. Honestly, I've been trying to just kind of feel the whole YouTuber thing out and just try to play around with different topics and different things like that. I typically talk a lot about my hair, which is not going to stop, but I also have way more to me than just my hair, and honestly I would love for you guys to get to know more of me, and so this is kind of the intention behind the video. I am the worst at small talk. I don't really know how to do it. I prefer having like deep, meaningful conversations even with people I meet for the very first time, and so I thought it'd be really cool to just kind of allow you guys to get to know me by answering some really deep personal questions that I feel like you would normally have with your best friend late at night, just like chilling, be like, you know what, I've always wondered this, or I'm really struggling with this right now. And I'm just gonna tell you guys, even though I just met you, because that's the kind of person that I am. So these questions are just like questions that I just found online. If you guys actually want to share what your answers would be, that would be really cool if you feel comfortable doing that. All right, so the first question is going to be, what is one lie that you believed about yourself for too long? So I would say one lie that I believed about myself for way too long is probably that my sensitivity is a weakness. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm very emotional. I care a lot about things, and I feel like growing up that was always looked at a negative light. Like when things would affect me in a way that it wouldn't affect most people, then that was looked at as like, oh yeah, you're too soft, or like you're too sensitive, or you know, whatever, fill in the blank there. And the way that people would say it, it would make me feel like this is a problem. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to stop caring about things. I need to just like let things brush over. And I feel like as I've grown, I've come to realize that it's actually kind of a superpower, because honestly, hiding your feelings is much easier than actually allowing yourself to feel. A lot of people nowadays, they tend to keep things bottled up until it's just too late, and that's something that they had to work through in therapy for years. And I'm just lucky enough to just feel those things and unashamedly feel those things. And if I need to cry, I'll cry. Or if somebody hurt me, even though it might be irrational, I'll talk to that person to get some clarity and say, hey, I know you didn't mean to do this, but this is how it made me feel. So I think there's a right way to be sensitive where it's not being too much. Like, I think you should be allowed to feel how you feel and not be afraid to share that something hurt your feelings without somebody being upset about it and basically looking down on you for literally just having feelings. And so I would say that that's probably one big lie that I believed, but thank God I don't believe it anymore. The next question is, when do you feel the most like yourself? Honestly, when I'm by myself, if that makes sense. Like, I think the normal go-to answer would be like, oh, when I'm with friends, or when I'm with my family, or you know, one of those two. But I've just always had this weird thing about me that I feel like no one like fully understands me in the way that I understand myself, or the way that God understands me. And I mean, maybe this is something that's like, obviously everybody feels that way, I don't know, but I have this like deeper rooted like thing of like, people know me, but there's like some deeper rooted things that I just don't really feel like could be fully understood. So when I'm by myself in my thoughts and stuff like that, that's when I feel the most like comfortable and relaxed. Not that I don't feel comfortable with family and friends or people that are close to me in general, but the most, I would definitely say, when I'm by myself. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. This could literally be everybody that thinks this way. Next question is, what wound has shaped your personality the most? I would probably say just like growing up, and the relationship that I had with my dad probably wasn't the best. We're on like fairly good terms now, and you know, I think that where we are with our relationship right now is probably the best that it's gonna get at this point, which I'm content with. I think there's just a lot of things that can't be undone, which it is what it is, but I feel like that really shaped my personality. Just to give you like a little bit more detail on that, There was one scenario where I was in disagreement with my dad about something. I was literally like 10 years old. I was playing outside with my sister, and there were some neighbors in the apartment complex that we lived in that were moving in. They asked if I would ask my dad to help them move something into their house, because they were like right next door, and they figured that he'd be willing or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll ask. Went back inside, talked to my dad, and his first response was like, don't, just close the door on them. Don't even talk to those people. Like, don't say anything. And I was more so like, okay, well, do you at least want me to tell them something and say, oh, he's sleeping, he's busy, like, just so I don't shut the door on these people who are just asking for help. And mind you, again, I was literally like 10 or 11 years old, so that just shows you, like, I had some common sense at a very young age. And he was just like, no, just do what I tell you to do, whatever. And I literally just refused. And I was I was pretty stubborn back then, but there was like this knowing at such a young age of like between right and wrong, and this sense of like compassion I had towards people at a very young age that I don't feel like was really taught to me in a sense. Like, I feel like I just knew and I felt for people. And so that became like a whole argument between me and my dad. He got really angry with me and I got in trouble for it, yada yada yada. But I feel like that's one thing I can remember very vividly. There's other examples, but just that one specifically, it showed me how, and even when I got in trouble with him, like, I still knew that I did the right thing by refusing to do what he told me to do. I look back on that situation, I'm like, dang, that little kid knew what she was doing. She really cared. And it seems so small now, but as a child, it's like, that's kind of a big deal. All right. And then the last question is, what's one thing that you don't want to admit, but maybe you need to? This one, I don't know if I necessarily need to admit it, but one thing I don't think I've really said this out loud, or maybe I feel guilty about feeling, is that I do have moments when I miss being single, which I don't know, I think there shouldn't be anything wrong with that, but there's a part of me that feels like by missing that, then that's saying that I'm not content with my life now. I don't know. I've been married for over a year now, but before I met my husband, I was single for 25 years of my life. Literally until I turned like 26. We dated for a year and then got married. And so we've known each other for like a little over 2 years. That's a whole nother story in itself. And feel free to comment down below if you want to hear that story. And honestly, I was living the life. That singleness was like not an issue for me. Like, there was moments where I definitely wanted relationships and I wanted to be with somebody. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like as a human being, most people just like want a partner. But I feel like I really enjoyed my independence and I really enjoyed like not having to answer to anybody. And maybe that's like somehow related to daddy issues, and I don't know, there's probably some deeper rooted issues that I need to go therapy for, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I traveled, I spent a lot of time hanging out with friends, I spent some time by myself just doing things, I took myself out on solo dates, I did solo trips, and I look back very fondly at those years, and there's moments where I do really miss it. I love my husband, and I love the family that I have right now, but there's just some times where I feel like, you know, that was pretty nice. Pretty nice life. That concludes the questions we're gonna do for today. If you guys would like to answer these questions, I would love to hear what your answers are. So comment down below and let me know what you would answer to all these questions. And also, if there's anything specific you guys want me to touch more on, any video ideas that you guys would like me to do, also comment those below. And if you watch this entire video, comment down below a black heart emoji so I know that you're an OG. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I just want to let you know that I love you, Jesus loves you, and if you haven't heard that anyone's loved you today, there are literally 2 people that love you. So now you know, and now you're accountable for it, and now you can no longer say that no one has told you that they loved you, right? Right. All right, bye guys.